thing, I mean, that's like the organization of your ideas, right? So it's like where you have your punctuation. So wherever they're all idiots. Jeez, yeah, it happens. Depending on what you're struggling with your ideas, you would want to focus on different things. I'll give you a couple examples, and if anyone watching wants something like this, I do have this little ebook that I put together. I can send you some of it to kind of break this down. But like I'll use myself as the example because it's easier. When I first started getting into improvising, my problem with my phrasing was, well, my vibrato sounded nervous. I've mentioned that before, where I would play something and get this awful, where it sounds like a fucking mosquito around your ear, right? So I had some issues with that, like my technique and stuff like that in terms of phrasing techniques. Um, but I really had a problem with like it just being a big run-on sentence where the idea just kept going and there was no like punctuation or breathing. So I think I mentioned in a recent, like maybe last stream or the stream before, about like improvising with restrictions and forcing yourself to think differently. Um, but you want to think about a phrase as a statement, right? And when you have, that's what I mean by punctuation, right? You have uh, periods or exclamations or whatever to signify that idea is over, right? Um, anyway, it really depends on what aspect of phrasing you're having the difficulty with. But a big part of, I mean, regardless, what I would do is record yourself or film yourself and review it. And as you're reviewing it, make sure you're asking yourself what's going well, what isn't. And then with what isn't going well, with what is going well, you can restrict yourself to not even using any of that anymore. So you're forced to think differently. You know, you can't play the same phrase over and over again. Um, those are the you know, a lot of times it can be helpful to think like a singer, regardless of what you're doing, to make it more melodic or more of a hook. Um, you know, you want to think about what's going well, and then omit that for, you know, to focus on the other stuff. Um, but a lot of times what happens is people have a lot of good ideas, they just don't develop them more. So when you listen back, try and isolate, oh, that's a cool motif, that's a good theme right there. We could do something with that, and then you can kind of build on it. I'd say if anyone is interested in getting some feedback, like I did this for a couple guys recently who were one guy just from social media, another guy from here, sent me some of their songs, and I like kind of reviewed it to give them ideas on how to do more toward like to be more effective essentially with what they want. So if you want, you could definitely email me some examples of maybe improvising or a solo you wrote and recorded, or really whatever, or even just playing someone else's solo. It doesn't matter. But I'd be happy to check it out and review it, because there's so many elements and things to focus on, right? You have the techniques, you've got the note choice, you've got your rhythms, all these different things. And if you're, it's too much a lot for a lot of people to focus on all at once. So that's my sort of